hello and welcome. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to our newest episode of Truthbombs and Bloopers. And today we don't really have a plan what we're going to talk about, do we?
No, we don't.
We want to hear all about the newest truth bombs, what's going on in your world and in your outside world. Is there something that you had a big aha moment which are so valuable that we could share it?
Yes, I think it's an insight. It's not nothing new, it's nothing big, but it's something that still is kind of rocking my world right now. And we're currently my husband and I, we are working currently with a gene keys and human design expert like Carrie Kennedy. And she's helping us, to discover more, because we're in the relationship department, right? How we can support people in the relationship department with these tools, because we have been learning so much about human design and the gene keys. So we were, also thinking, like talking about our business. And at one point we were just, we don't even know what to do anymore. We were so confused because there are so many people telling us what we should be doing, like, you should do this, you should do that, I see you there. And we were like, oh my God. And we both have open, undefined heads. That's from the human design language, meaning that we are very easily distracted from other people's opinions and thoughts. And especially I don't even know how Boss is doing it, even though he has also an open head, but he's, he's very, he knows what he wants. But I so easily get distracted by other people's thinking or ideas. And she kind of like Carrie Kennedy. Oh my God, this is my open KK. She kind of brought it back to, what do you want? What do you actually want? What really sets your sacral on fire? Also human design language, but what would you want to create? And all of a sudden it just blurted out of us. Like, it was so clear, and we were realizing we really don't take enough time to go inwards and really asking ourselves, what do you want? And even though we teach that constantly, it's sometimes so easy to get lost, yourself. And what we now said is that we really want to take off the last weeks of 2020 and really just go inwards and just sit with things and listen to our own, to our own heartbeat, to our own desires, and see what wants to emerge from this place within me, within him, and also in our space as a couple, and of course also as business partners, because so often we get distracted by the outer world. Like we just chatted before, you and I, how easily it is to get distracted by Instagram or just Facebook, all the social media. And even though it's amazing because we do get inspiration, it's also just distracting.
It's a drug. It's like a drug, and
100%.
You get so used to it, and if you are not disciplined with it, I really have times where I'm very serious about working. I put my phone on flight mode, and then I just work. And some people sometimes are confused if I didn't see the message or what's up, but I need to set those boundaries, because otherwise I get so I could always be answering, responding, helping, and that's so important to set those boundaries. Or also, first thing in the morning is, for me, such a sacred time where I don't look at the phone until I've done my yoga, my meditation, all my rituals in the morning, so that I can really anchor in with myself and I don't get distracted by outside energies. Because then I'm also very quickly in other people's energies, and then my mind starts to take over. And when I give that space to my being, my soul, first thing in the morning, it feels like I set the tone for how I want the day to look like, and not the incoming stuff.
Yeah, I think you're very inspirational there. I always admired you for your discipline. I also know that you have this very clear morning structure, like getting up very early and doing your thing before the kids are awake. And I really admire that with you, how disciplined you are with those things. And I also can see how they benefit you in a like,
Yeah,
or influence you.
actually it gives me freedom. That's
Yeah,
what
I
it
know.
gives me.
Yeah.
It's really that when I feel good in my body, then I feel safe within me. Then I feel then also I get this kick, this hormonal kick to get my inspiration on fire. And when I also have the time to not just to move my body, but to really go within and ask and connect with my soul, what is the most important thing we together have to do today, that's priceless. That's really priceless. And it's so dangerous for instance, with Instagram, when we don't know who we are, and then we get into the comparison mode, then we don't even know what our talents and our gifts are, because we are not looking at our own. Actually, yeah, that's an exercise I can recommend. I started, I don't know when it was, but a few weeks ago, I was in a moment of unconsciousness, and I kind of just, started scrolling without any intention.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, now I'm going to look into my profile now as if I was a stranger, and I look at it and what comes up. And I tried, of course, it's difficult to look at it with these eyes, but what if you just look at your stuff for a while and honor everything you have achieved, everything you see there, and try to have this outside view, because also from the other people that you're looking at, you don't see the whole picture, you don't see the whole story, you don't see the ups and downs if they don't share it. So yeah, so be very intentional with what's your intention to look at other people's things.
I love, sorry.
Yeah, is it to get an inspiration? And also, do these 100 people that I'm following really still inspire me, or do I have to delete some of them because they give me a strange feeling? So
absolutely, I absolutely love that exercise, and it's so fun. I do that too. That sometimes I go on. I sometimes did it, and it's not from the right, like not for the right reason, but when I kind of befriended somebody I was looking up to, then sometimes I went on my profile to see what they see, like,
yes,
how do people perceive me,
Yes.
And it's also something, I think you also know that from the dancing. I mean, like what we also learn in acting, it's always having this outside view upon yourself, also to see what would people cast me for, what like, how do other people see me, what is the brand that I'm kind of embodying for others.
Yeah.
And it's true, it's like so helpful to see, and you think, oh my goodness, did I write that? That's so good. We have that too.
Yeah, that's my lesson, to have that more, but that's true. Sometimes when you read old blog posts or very old stuff that you have already forgotten, you think, oh wow, that was good. Not so much the newer ones. And I also feel it's the same with old photos. When I remember sometimes when a picture was taken, I didn't like how I looked then, but now, like 2 years later, I think, oh, I looked happy there.
Yes, this is interesting.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
We are fat, or we feel ugly, or whatever, and then you look back and think, oh my goodness, how could I feel fat there? I look so good. I have that too. I think everybody has that, and I love that, to really just, if you compare, because that's the thing that happens with me. I often then start comparing, and I think, oh, I'm nowhere. I start, my inner critic gets very loud and starts yelling at me. And I think when you do that, what you just suggested is so amazing, because you only compare yourself to yourself, and then you can really see where you're coming from and the development you have made, and also to see, oh my goodness, I already was so wise back then.
And also to yeah, to really be what I said before, to be very intentional when you open Facebook or Instagram. What is my intention here?
Mm-hmm.
What do I want to inspire others and upload something, or do I just want to numb my brain with some more fog? Because ego is such a cruel little monster, and it just constantly says, give me now, and now I want it now. And I've started to reread for about the 5th time The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, and every time I have it on audiobooks, I listen to it again. It's like a new book, because I discover new wisdom, and I mean, this book is just so full of wisdom.
Can I share something?
Yes.
I've never read it.
Then go and download it.
I know. I need to. I know.
Yeah,
I know it since 10 years, but I've never read it.
I've read it like, I think 5 times, but the last time maybe 5 years ago or something. And now it feels like the perfect time. I don't know why. Maybe the year that we're in, and structures that are falling apart. And as it's also has a lot to do with what we talked about in our last episode, acceptance. But the ego mind is really, or like the mind or the ego, however you want to call it, that part in you that only functions in duality. The good, the bad, I like it, I don't like it, the black, the white, the yes, the no. But the soul is singularity, is that oneness. And when we reach that part, and we are connected with that part in us, the soul, actually we don't have any problems.
That's true.
But it's really, and then we don't need any analysis, we don't need any explanation. Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So the mind who wants to control everything, really everything, and once it doesn't even have a good reason to because once, let's say you have a goal, and the mind wants to get there, and the mind wants to have explanation over everything, and then okay, maybe you reach that goal, but then the mind starts already to find 1,000 ways what could happen with that, and why you could lose that, or what will happen tomorrow and in 5 minutes, and it's like a never-ending nightmare. That's with that true. Mind, and this whole cycle, in control, and I can't be in control, and I want to be, and it's not really useful for anybody.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
And when we can just start to accept what is, and come into that being, and I'm sure that how it feels in your body when you are being, when you are fully immersed in the moment, when you have no attachment to time, and this expansiveness that you feel then in your body,
it's magical.
It's amazing, and that's when you, from that space, is when you really attract those things that you belong to you, because then you're in your soul's vibration. And in the end, everything we want is peace, is that freedom inside, but we will never reach it through the mind, because the mind already jumps to the next, and it's really like a drug. It really wants to control everything.
It's true.
Yeah. So and if we manage to accept what is now, we talked about this in the last episode, but this Eckhart Tolle says, whatever happens in the outside, if we can accept the now as if it was our own choice, that's
It's beautiful.
when the miracles happen.
It's about just getting out of this resistance, like taking the resistance piece out, right? It's just
but
about choosing what actually is there.
exactly, but even deeper than that, because resisting and embracing is already duality.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
But
yeah.
you know, what even deeper than that, it just is. The is cannot be explained by the mind. It can only be experienced, and that's why I think it's so beautiful that you're gonna have this space for you at the end of the year to just be. And
yeah, I think this is like really this also going like really hibernating, or like the winter is a time to turn inwards, right? And I love everything that you just said, and I also think this whole, like, it's like in a gene keys, you know, like you have these 3 steps: the shadow, the gift, and the CD. The CD is like the divine gift, like these how you say that, this being in a certain state where it's more a gift than something that you can achieve. Of course, you can work for it. Of course, you can, you know, do your stuff. But I think this is how because we do live in a dual world, right? So it's impossible to really overcome long-lasting constantly. I believe that. Maybe somebody has figured that out, but we can work through daily routines and daily meditations, and, you know, like just the things that really help us to get into this state of mind. But it's not something that we are actually designed for to truly live in. So I think it is okay to, you know, have the duality and deal with duality, and know that there's another state, and we can find peace, or, you know, whatever it is that is actually important for us, if it's peace, or if it's it's universal love, or if it's truth, or if it's being, or if it's simplicity, or whatever, you know, like we can create that by really looking into the shadows and working through the shadows and embracing the gift, and
absolutely, like, and use the mind. I mean, the mind is a powerful, it's amazing thing what we can do with the mind. We wouldn't have reached the development that we are living in right now. But use it very consciously in those moments that you need it, kind of like a switch on and off. And that's the true art of life, when you will reach that state when you know exactly when to allow it, and know when the voice of the ego sets in and wants to take over control.
Especially when the ego, I kind of differentiate I differ between the ego and the critiker, the inner critiker. And then really the critiker, I really think, fuck off, you know, really go get a hobby or something. Because this dude really always finds something to nag, you know, like there's never enough, there's, you know, he's always focused on the negative. Also what I do. And the ego, for me, especially when we're connected to the mind, also what you just said, there's so much capacity as well, because we have this ability to see black and white, and have a sense of judgment, but to use this for the best. So we can use actually the ego or the mind. Of course, it's always how do you define things? It's always the question, right? But like this part that just criticize and who is always in fear mode and always wants to, you know, like kind of tell us that we're not enough or too much or whatever comes to its mind. This part really, I think, you know, okay, I mean, because you cannot shut it really off, but say, okay, I hear you, and you can sit somewhere in the back row, because I'm a bit done with that.
But even then, let's say the voice is not even that critical, but it wants to get things explained. Even that can sometimes be hard to deal with, because when the mind is constantly searching for answers and is in the control or the driver's seat, the soul has no space. And when we allow that to be, because in the end the soul is the leader anyways of our life. It's just subconsciously or things happen to us because the soul is the driver and wants the best experiences we can have right now to grow and expand. But life can be such a bliss without us needing anything if we give the soul the full space and control.
That's true. That's true.
Oh my God, it's getting so dark.
Yeah, you look quite witchy there. Hello, welcome back.
Oh.
Hi. Yeah, that's so true. I just while you were talking, I was thinking, you know what, because I just said, you know, you have to shut up to the critic. I was also thinking, yeah, in the end, what is the critic? The critic is actually nothing else than, you know, these parts in us that want to keep us safe.
Yeah,
they just try to do it in a kind of, yeah, it's these prison guards we once talked about, right, when we were talking about the book from Dr. Valerie Rain. And in the end, they also just want to be seen and heard, and they need to just kind of you. In the end, we just they need to feel safe, or we need to feel safe, so that we can really put them aside, or just, you know, let them speak and still find the peace within, so that our soul can take more space.
And even I think the first step, even recognizing that there is over controlling mind.
Woo-hoo. Yes.
Yeah,
because we think with the control, we feel safe, or we can feel safety, but that's the biggest mistake, or
exactly
mistake. There's another word.
Misconception.
This is the word.
Yeah,
misconception there is.
Yeah, because we think with control we are free, but we are doing the opposite.
That's so true.
More.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I can really highly recommend The Power of Now. I feel like we have to listen to it so many times that it really, really goes deep.
Yes. And I think it's just, you know, in the end, all we do is remembering, right? And we just need to remember.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm burping here.
What's the other book you mentioned before by
Dr. Valerie Rain?
Yeah, what's the
Patriarchy Stress Disorder is the title of the book.
Okay.
Yeah, this is really, I don't have it here right now, but I was like almost on a book tour myself, and I didn't work because she asked me if I would want to be affiliate for her, because she saw that I was promoting it everywhere. But then I was like, you know what, I already did it, you know.
Yeah,
I'm not going to do it. And I also didn't want it to be paid for that, because it felt like, yeah, I just believe in that book, and I recommend it, and so many people read it, and they said, oh, it changed so much, because it's really about realizing how much we are not allowing ourselves to lead a pleasurable life, because we think, you know, we all have a trauma of patriarchy, which also, of course, men have too, because patriarchy didn't serve anyone. You know, this idea that we have about patriarchy, about only the masculine traits are useful. And through patriarchy also a lot of good came, of course, you know, a lot of structure and all the good things too. And everything that was feminine within men and women just got beheaded and suppressed, and it's really about reawakening the feminine within, and the feminine is all about the being, right?
The being, exactly. And that's what I feel, and we know, and everybody talks about, is that these structures had to fall apart, that we're in, to make space for that.
Yes, 100%.
And just to recap again, some truth bombs today that we can, just exercises that you can do for yourself. Yeah, just be really mindful with what intention you open social media, who you follow. Does it inspire you, or does it rather make you feel strange, not enough, I'm not there yet? Who does that with you? Can you unfollow them? And also just observing the triggers, and how your ego, how your mind always wants to control things. And you mentioned in the beginning about allowing that space to just be, or, you know, like, even if it's like a weekend sabbatical, or a 1 week detox where you unsubscribe from any technology. That's also amazing.
So healing.
So healing. Just whatever helps you, whatever routine helps you to bring the focus back to yourself, back to your soul, and away from the
chatter,
mind chatters.
Beautiful. Beautiful recap. Thank you so very much.
That's it for today, and thank you. Have a nice week. Bye-bye.
Okay, then let's just start with whatever the flip.
In duality. The good, the bad. I like it, I don't like it. It's like the black, the white,
Then we don't need any analysis, we don't need any explanation. Bless you.
Sorry, thank you.
Oh, you're sneezing in 2020.
I'm sneezing into the microphone even. Kom een Krakau. Oh nee.
Wat zijn we voor een Anne?
Oh Gott, okay, es kommt. Ah nein, das ist das hier. Ich tue nicht das Licht rein.